Hello guys, welcome to your 16th lesson in this VueJS course, and we want to quickly take a step and look and dive into how to work with forms and different form fields in VueJS. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. Alright, so I've created a basic application here, and let's look at a preview of what we have. So we basically have a grid which has two columns, and the first column right here we have a registration form. So the goal of this mini app is basically that whenever a user the values input any values here, we're going to see the result right here, the result of the form. Okay, so let me rename that, and we can say right here, I think, form result. So whenever a value is being adjusted, let's say something is being typed in here in the username, for example, we are going to get the live updates right here. Okay, so that's basically it. And going over what I have, basically, let's go over it again. I have a div with a class of grid, basically a grid with two columns, and then the first column contains a form while the second contains another div, and then inside of the form we have different form elements right here. Okay, and there I haven't added any functionality. This is still pretty much blank at the moment, and if you come right here, you see whenever you click on register, it's going to refresh the page. Let's also add that to the list of things we actually want to do. So whenever the user click on register, it won't automatically refresh the page, but it's also maybe logs it out to the console or do something like that. All right, so basically what I also want to adjust a bit, I think I want to adjust a bit of the padding, and I'm going to say py, let's put 8. I think that should work fine. Okay, it adjusted this padding, and this is what I need. All right, our form is looking pretty set. So let's look at how we can actually adjust the value whenever we get a value here. Okay, maybe a user types in something, it's going to display here. Now we've already looked at data binding, one-way data attribute binding. We've looked at two-way data binding using vmodels, and that's one of the things we're actually going to make use of right here. So basically I'm going to come right here inside of my data. Okay, so I'm basically going to do something like, okay, how many fields do we have? We have username, and afterwards we have password, and I think we have favorite anime, favorite anime, and then that's also going to be an empty string. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. I just recalled that we have to return. There's supposed to be a return statement. Okay, so let's put all these right up. Yeah, okay. Now that shouldn't give us any error again. All right, so we've done our favorite anime, and then we want to have a favorite power system. Okay, so we can have power system, power, okay, systems, and that is going to be an array. The reason it's going to be an array is we have more than one item, so we can basically select a multiple item. It doesn't make sense to store it in a string. Array is the best data type or data structure that would contain this very well, so an array of strings. And finally we want to have a favorite anime genres. So basically I'm going to do something like favorite, no, this is going to be favorite, okay, and this is going to be an array. So we can make this an array also, despite the fact that this is a string. But I'm going to show you something, and then we're going to say terms, and this is going to be false. All right, so let's see how we can actually work with this. So for the first input that we have right here, what I'm going to just do, very simple, v model, and this is going to be equals to username, and right down here let's do something. Okay, I'm going to have inside here, okay, I'm going to have something which is going to say, we're going to have a div, and then we're going to have a paragraph. I'm going to say user name, and below here inside of our another p tag we're going to have username. All right, let's see if that works fine. So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to type, okay, username. You see, it's getting updated here automatically, which is kind of what we want. That is working. So username, I'm going to use live tech fact. All right, let me use Maestro. And for the password, we're basically going to do the same thing for the password, just simple v model binding. And let's see the password right here, and then we're going to say v model. This is going to be equal to and password. Okay, and we're going to just duplicate this, and what I'm going to say is password, and right here we're going to also put password. Okay, and let's come here, let's see if that works. Username works, password works. Okay, now we have this here. This is where things might seem to get a bit tricky, but nonetheless, it's fine. What we're basically going to do is we have favorite anime right here. Okay, so I'm going to copy that particular variable, that particular data, and right here inside of our select tag, I'm going to do something such as v model, and it's going to be equal to this. Very simple, and let's test that out. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to paste this here, and this is going to be favorite anime, and let's save and let's come back here. So whenever we select favorite anime, okay, we see One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball. Alright, that works. And another thing, before we continue, I want to make it that this wouldn't show by default. It's only when we've inputted a value, that is when this username should be rendered. And let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to basically make use of our v if directive. And the way I'm going to do that is, let me capitalize this, or let's just rather use, let me just use css for that. I'm going to add a class of text, and I think that should be font. There's a class like that instead with css. Okay, I think that font upper, or I think let's check uppercase or something. Okay, we have uppercase. All right, so let's just put it there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my v if directive, and it's basically going to go something like this: if the username, okay, and I'm going to come here also and say v if, and then it's going to be equal to password, and also this we're going to say v if, and this is going to be equal to favorite anime. Okay, let's save that and let's see what we have so far. All right, we are not seeing anything rendering here, but if I should start typing in, it automatically shows the username. Okay, if I should clear everything, that also gets unrendered or mounted. Okay, and we can see these. All right, okay, this works. Okay, just as intended. All right, let's move on to the third one here, and quickly let me just add a bit of spacing. I'm sorry, but it's just, I just love my app looking at least bare minimum good. Okay, so I'm going to add a class of flex and flex code, and then let's just add a gap of 5. I think that should sort that out, and let's test that, and okay, fine by me. So now let's move to this. We have favorite pass systems. How do we bind to that? Coming to my code right here, we have favorite power systems and we have this, and this is very simple. We just do something. I'm going to just select this, um this and this, and I'm going to say v model is going to, okay, v model is going to be equal to, I think that should be is that power systems? Okay, power systems. All right, let's save that and let's see what we have. So I'm not saving. What about when we click on this? Oh, we haven't outputted it out here. So I'm just going to come here and I'm going to do something similar here, and I'm going to say power systems, power systems, and right here it is going to be power systems, and then this is going to be par systems. All right, let's save that and let's see what if we select this. Do we have anything rendering? Okay, so we can see it gives us an array, and then we have name aki. But when displaying, when you want to display something like this, we don't expect the user to be looking at this and they should feel okay with this. No, we are going to actually maybe do something such as conditional rendering. I'm going to say v4. Oh, v4, and let's dynamically generate that. Okay, so v4, and then this is going to be power systems. Okay, and let's copy and let's paste it here, and instead of this is going to be item, and what I'm going to basically do is put it in a list, and then li. Okay, and let's just cut this and paste this here, and then we can replace this with li. Okay, let's save that and let's see if we get that right. So pass systems, and we're going to select this. Okay, we see the list keeps showing up. All right, and I think that's that for now, but let's just add a class of lists list disk. And another thing is if power systems, so if power systems dot length, since we are basically looking at an array, so if the array has one element or more, the power system dot length is automatically going to equate to evaluate to true. Okay, but if it does not have it, if it is empty, it's going to automatically evaluate to false. And let's come here and let's select, and we have this. Okay, this is working as we want. And what about when we choose favorite anime? Okay, we type in a password, and we can see the results showing up here. And one quick fix, I think I want to add a list of inside. I think this is okay. Let's select this. All right, so that's that. Now we have two fields left, which is this field and this field. And basically what I want to do for this favorite anime genre is something that YouTube actually implements. Whenever you're typing in your tags, okay, you type in, let's say the first tag is, let's say sci-fi, and you put in a comma, it will automatically convert this into a tag, and you're going to see it. Okay, it's going to maybe display, and it's going to add a bit of formatting to it. So how about we implement something like that right here? All right, so let's get back to our codes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I quickly want to okay, where is it? This particular terms here, let's just quickly bind it. We should know that we are almost done with our task. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to also say v model. Okay, now v model, and that is going to be equal to terms. Okay, and I think let's check that's terms, right? All right, so v model, it's going to be equal to, oh, and another thing is I think there's a mistake. I added this to the label tag instead of this, and let's save this. All right, to be sure that that is outputting, I'm going to just copy and okay, copy and paste below. All right, I'm not going to add this. Okay, we can just leave it. So terms, and then terms, and then this is also going to be terms. Okay, let's see if that works, and let's save and come here. So this is only going to render right here if this is selected. All right, so let's click on this and let's see. Okay, we can see the terms is true. All right, and what about this other? And we see everything still works. Now the only last piece of puzzle we need to solve is this. And okay, when clicking on the register button. All right, so how do we do that? I want you to pause for like some minutes and try and think about how you do that, or better still, try attempting that yourself. Okay, so did you figure it out? If not, let's try and do that right here. And first I'm going to bring up my developer console right here, and let's come here. The first thing we're actually going to do is I'm going to create another data, which is right here, another value, which is going to be single favorite genre, and that's going to be an empty string. And I'm going to tell you the reason why we have this later on. So the first thing is I'm going to have my methods. So we're going to be writing some custom events, methods, and that's going to have return this object. And what I'm going to do is right here inside of the text area. Okay, text area. All right, so we have it here, and then we're going to just do v model, and that's going to be equal to this particular data here, and I'm going to just paste that here. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to have an event which is going to be at key up, and that's going to be equal to an event which I've not created yet, and that's going to be add to genre. And this add to genre, it's going to take in the event parameter. So let's just do this, add to genre e and function, and then we're going to say console.log and e.target.value. All right, though we don't really need to worry about it since we automatically will get this value right here, but let's just check if that works. So right here when typing, let's see, okay, we can see that is working, that is working, that is working, and that works fine. All right, so basically what we want to do is whenever we type and we press maybe comma or maybe an alt, and it's going to actually do something such as add it to this particular array. So that's basically what we want to do. So the temporary value is going to be stored inside of this v model, and then automatically when we press a particular key on our keyboard, it's going to update this particular data here, and that's basically what we want to do. All right, so let's do this. We have our text area here and we have this. So what we want to basically do is right here, let's console.log just the events, and let's see, I want to show you something part of the event object. So when we type this, we can see that we get a bunch of data right here. And one of the data we actually got, we have the alt key false, bubbles true, and very important, we have the key right here. Okay, each key also have a corresponding key code, but we don't need to bother ourselves too much with the key code. We just want this key, and basically we want that, okay, whenever we type in a comma, so we're going to do if e dot key is equal to, and then a comma. Okay, what we want to do is console.log comma pressed. All right, so that's basically what we want to do for now. And what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to just type in something and press comma. Okay, we get this comma press. All right, that is working as we want. But before we continue, let's quickly use a v-for directive to loop through, okay, this particular array, this particular favorite genre array. So whenever we add anything, or rather let's just put it on the right hand side, anyone works. So how about we do both? So the first thing is I'm going to duplicate this, and then I'm going to say instead of power systems, this is going to be favorite genre, and I'm going to come here and put it here, and favorite genre, and then I'm going to change this to genres. And okay, so let's copy this and let's paste this here, and this should work fine and well. So if this e.key is equals to this, to comma, then what we want to do is we want to console.log this current data that we have inside the text input, inside the text area. So let's paste that here and let's see. So whenever we actually, okay, single favorite genre is not defined. Okay, so this is supposed to be these dots, okay, and let's see, once we type this and then we do this, all right, now we can see it's logged to the console the value we have right now. All right, so what we are basically then going to do is I'm going to just do console.log. We can attach something which is sub string, okay, and then we can say 0 to then comma this dot single favorite genre dot length and then -1. Now what this basically does is it's going to cut the string starting from position 0, okay, and I want it to stop right before the comma. So let's see if that actually works, and I'm going to just do this and then let's say super power, and let's say we get the superpower right here, which is fine and which works the exact way we want it to. All right, without it using this comma. So let's try and do something. We are basically going to take this value that we have here. So I'm going to say const and then I'm going to say single okay equals to this, okay, and then if this is equals to comma, and then we're going to add it to this particular array. So I'm going to do something like, okay, this dot favorite genre dot push, and then we're going to push single genre, and then let's save that. And now let's try and do something. And another thing is whenever we push, then we automatically want to say this dot single favorite genre equals to empty string. That will automatically clear the field. So we are going to come here and then I'm going to type this and let's press in a comma, and this should automatically reflect here. Okay, we can see it's working right here. Okay, so that we'll get a better perspective, a better view, let's do something. I'm going to copy this. So instead of having this here, I'm just going to come here below the text area and I'm just going to do this. And instead of this having list, this can list inside, we're going to remove that, and then I'm going to say add a padding of 5 and background color of green 500 and text white, okay, and rounded full. And right here I'm going to add a class which is going to be equal to flex, and then this is going to have a gap of 5 and flex wrap. Okay, so let's see that. Now right here at the bottom we should be able to see the result. So let's say I'm typing something and add a comma, we automatically get the result here. Okay, let's reduce that a bit. So I'm going to say px, okay, let's say 4, and then py 1.5, and I think that should work. And right here I'm going to add a margin top of 7 works. Okay, so let's type this and add a comma, and then we get this right here, and type in, we get this right here. That is working fine. I think let's do this. That is working fine, and let's try again. So I'm going to say Mortal Kombat and add a comma. Okay, we see it here. And then the next thing is I want to add, let's say, sci-fi, add a comma, and then we automatically get it right here, which is looking nice and great, right? And we should also see it updated here, okay, which is fine and well. So we can see how we are able to use vmodel in conjunction with adding a custom event listener to do this. But one thing though, if I should come right here and let's say I have Mortal Kombat and I should still add Mortal Kombat, that is still going to add. So how about we kind of make it unique? So what I'm going to do is something very simple. I'm going to use an if statement, okay, which is going to say if favorite genre dot includes, then single genre. If it includes it, we don't want to add it. So basically we can just invert that and we can just do this. So that means if, let me explain what we have here. That means if this dot favorite genre, if it does not have this particular single genre, and that's why we added this exclamation mark in front, just to make it an inverse statement. And let's see, so we are going to add, let me just put mortal and add a comma, and then mortal, add a comma. Okay, so we can still see it right here, but what we want to do is we can decide to clear it off, and we can just bring this instead and then cut it and then put it here. Okay, so let's try that once again, and mortal, add a comma, then mortal, and let's see sci-fi, and let's see super power, and let's see shonen, okay, and let's see mystery. Okay, that works fine, and we should also get it being updated here. And let's see, if we type this and we type something, and we can put this, we select this, we select all of this. Okay, and I think a better thing to do would be to have actually made this to be in the center, and then item center. Okay, I think that would work better. Okay, so we can see it right here, the form results, and let's see, type this and type this, and okay, let's select something and click on this, and okay, type in something, 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 and then accept the terms and condition. Now for the final piece of the puzzle, which is the register button. All right, let's see how that works, and how that will work rather. The first thing is I'm going to do add an event to this. I'm going to say at submit, and that is going to be equal to undo submit or something like this, submit, and we're going to come here right there, add a method, of course. So basically what the method is going to do is add submit. Okay, it's going to take in the event parameter, and we're going to console.log e. But there is a problem. So let me open up this again and don't save. And what I'm going to do is, let's just accept this and something, and okay, let's click on register. We see that automatically gets reloaded and all of that. We don't want that. What we can basically do is we can do e.prevent default. That's because the default behavior of a form, of an HTML form, is to send to a particular web server and then refresh the page. But we don't want that particular default behavior. We want to override it, and then we can just do something like console.log, and I can just input all of these in an object. And so what I'm basically going to do is I'm just going to select all these, and I'm going to copy and just paste right here, and then of course we're going to add a comma. So that should automatically log all of this to the console. So let's, oh, this should be this dot username. Oh, this dot. Okay, so let's do something. First, for this we're going to have username, and then so for this we're going to have password, and for this, so let me just quickly do that. And okay, so let's save that and let's bring it here. So what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to come here and say type all these, type this, type, okay, select something, and come right here, select all these, okay, and okay, type something, type something, type something. All right, that's working fine, and then accept terms and condition, and then click on register. That is still not working. Okay, add submit. No, this should be undo submit. Okay, I apologize for that. And now let's do that again. And right here, I'm going to say username, type in something, select something right here, and select all these. And right here, add some values, and let's come right here and click on this and click on register. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, let's see, undo submit, and let's come here right here. Did we add that? Well, okay, I think and do submit. So let's check. Okay, I think the mistake I'm making is this is supposed to be inside of the method. So view is basically not finding that particular function I just created. So let's bring it right here and let's save. Okay, let's see what that is going to give us. So if I should click on this, I think okay, we can see that works. That works fine and well. Another way you can achieve the same thing though is making use of something called event modifiers. So what we're just going to do is I'm going to comment that out, and we're going to come here and just add dot prevent, and that should still give us the same thing. Okay, let's remove the event parameter from here. Okay, and let's save, and once we come here and we should do this, we should still see it's giving us the same. Whichever method you decide to use is up to you, but I generally prefer to make use of this event prevent default, because I'm able to actually if I want to access any other data, any other thing that is attached up to the event, I could do that more easily. So we've come to the end of this lesson, and I'm going to see you in the next one.